And there you go. Now, if you have an airbrush booth, it's best to do it in your airbrush booth because airbrush color now went all over my kitchen. I didn't do such a big cake, so it didn't get a ton of it around, but there is a little airbrush color around, and what you'll notice, when I wipe off my counter, I'm gonna find gold all the way over here. What you can do and what I've done is I've set up under my range hood, I've set up, you know when you go to like Michael's or any kind of craft store, they have those three-sided cardboards that kids do presentations on for like their science fair project. So what you can do is you can set that up across here, put your turntable right here, turn your oven fan on like this, and start airbrushing. And the vent is going to start pulling that extra airbrush color out of the air. And that saves you a little bit of time. I didn't do it over here because you guys wouldn't have been able to see it, but that's just kind of a cheating airbrush booth. If you want to, if you do a lot of airbrushing, go ahead and invest in a real airbrush booth because you're going to just save yourself having to clean up extra little colors that are in the air and dusting. And actually when you blow your nose later, you'll also find gold dust in your nose. So, but anyways, there's our nice, beautiful golden tier all ready to go. All right, so now we're ready for our middle tier. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make this really blingy. So we're gonna start with some of this jeweled ribbon. And you can get this online. I buy this from Cal Java, and it comes in big long strips like this. And so I'm going to cut it down. So I'm just going to go around and measure how long it has to be. And I can see that I've got to cut it right here. So you just take your X-Acto when you cut this, and you just cut it like that. So I've cut a little piece, and I want it about, let's see, 2, 4, 6. I'm going to make it 8 blings wide. So you just put it on here and you just pull it like this, and it stays right between the two pieces and gives you the perfect width. Let me cut this off. There. So I've got my piece that fits around my cake. I'm going to put this other stuff out of the way. And so what we want to do is we want this to go around the center of the cake. So I'm going to eyeball it on one side. And when you're trying to line stuff up, it's always good to get down even with the cake because otherwise you're not going to be able to see it. If you're looking at it from the top, you're not going to see it. So I'm looking at it to try to get it straight, and I'm going to take some hat pins. Now I like to get, they come in black and white, usually in a pack, or if you can get all black, that's good. I like to use black because normally my cakes are white, and if I use black, then I can see them. I don't want to ever accidentally leave one of these in a cake, but if they're black, I can see them and I won't accidentally leave it in there. So I'm going to take a black hat pin and just pin this partway around so that I can get it all centered exactly where I want it, all the way around. And I'm just eyeballing it. If you want to, you can measure it exactly. I find that eyeballing it is usually just about fine. But if you're one of those people who is totally exact and can't, the thought of eyeballing it makes you crazy, then by all means, measure it all out. All right, so I've measured it out. I have not measured it out. I've eyeballed it out, and I've laid my piece in here. And so now what I'm going to do, because I want to add sanding sugar all the way around the rest of it, I have to mark where this is because I don't want to put sanding sugar underneath this ribbon. So I'm going to take a tool that has a nice round, this is a little tool that has a little reel on it. So I can just go around here and I'm just going to lightly mark my fondant as I go all the way around, so I can see where my ribbon is. I'm going to do it across the top, and then I'm going to do it again across the bottom. So I have a mark where this blingy ribbon is, so I know not to fill that with sanding sugar. And it's just kind of a rough mark, it's not exact. And I'm gonna do it again on the bottom. Go all the way around. You're probably wondering why I have this in a pan. I'll explain that on the next step. But for now, it's just sitting in a cake sheet. So a cookie sheet. Okay, so I'm marking this all the way around, marking my fondant that I've already put on here. And I think I've gone all the way around. Let's make sure. Yep, okay. Now I'm gonna take this off, pull these all out, take off my ribbon, and get that out of the way. Now you can see I've marked all the way around where that ribbon is going to sit, top and bottom. Okay, so now's the next step. We're gonna do sanding sugar. So let me go get that ready and I'll be right back.